Guys, this is Avicious from 7 Days Departed. Welcome back to the tutorial series. I hope you watched the first two videos. That should really help you get started in the game. In the third video, I want to delve right into it, and I'm going to start out by talking about raiding. Raiding is a challenging aspect of this game. In fact, you will find a lot of people are intimidated by raiding. What is raiding? Raiding is player versus player in this game. How it works is when you raid, you find an opponent and you attack them. It is your heroes versus their heroes. However, and let me turn this game volume down because that's really loud. However, when you attack another player, that means they are offline. And when they are offline, that means the computer is controlling their defense. So what does that have to do with raiding? Well, in raiding, there are two teams. You have an offensive team, is the team that you control. And then if you notice, if you click down in raids, I'm sorry, don't click raids, click heroes, and then click edit team, you will see you have three teams. You can use these three teams for anything you want. And then you'll notice right underneath your team, you have something called a defense team toggle. That is a button you can toggle onto one of your teams. And what that toggle will do is designate the desired team to be your defense team. Your defense team is the team that is going to defend your watchtower when you are not online. And that is controlled by the computer's artificial intelligence. Whatever script Small Giant wrote in the background, that is the script that is controlling your defense team when somebody attacks you. It's a good system. It's smart. It's intuitive, and it's one of the first of its kind that I've seen, and I really enjoy it. I don't completely understand why people don't enjoy raiding because I haven't talked to everybody, but the common theme seems to be that raiding is intimidating. Raiding is hard, raiding is stressful, and it's hard to excel in that area. There are people in my alliance that struggle with raiding. There are people in my alliance that don't really like PvP very much. And I can only bring it down to those factors. Those are the only things that I've heard about raiding, and that's what I have in regards to why people may or may not like it. I personally love it. I think it's fun, and it's challenging. It's definitely challenging, very, very challenging, in fact, and you beat your head against the wall sometimes. Anyway, let's move into the actual raiding after we finish this defense team setup. So you have three teams, and this is a lot easier than people realize. Setting your defense team is just hitting this toggle. You have three teams. This is team 2. This is my defense team. The reason I know it's my defense team because I selected it to be my defense team by clicking the defense team button, and that team is always going to defend me. Now, when you're setting up your defense team, you want to understand certain things. I'm not going to get into the complexities of raiding. I'm just going to go through the basics in this tutorial. With a defense team, you do not need all the same colors. The reason you don't need all the same colors is because when you're defending, you're not using gems. So normally when you're using gems, you need all 5 elements because your your troops will be rendered ineffective as far as attacking after you connect gems because you do not have that element. It'll actually come up and say missing element. So those gems really aren't doing any damage to your opponent. On defense team, it's different. You're not using gems, so you can use whatever heroes you want to use on your defense team. It doesn't have to be all 5 elements, and that's what's cool about defense team and raiding. Now, when you consider your defense team, there are a few things you want to consider for the basics, and I'm going to go over those. So let's click on Gore Mac first. He is the guy in the middle. You probably don't have him, but you can follow along in the video. Gore Mac is a tank. And he's in the middle for that reason. He's the middle character. Because you'll see in a defense team raid, they're shaped like a V. And the middle guy is at the point of the V. And he is the tank. He's protecting your entire team. So when you have a tank, you want a tank type character that's going to serve well in that position. Gore Mac is the best one that I have. He has high health, high defense, and his mana speed is average. And I recommend mana speed being average for your tank because it seems like an ideal position, or it seems like an ideal speed to have at your tank position. Because your tank's going to get torn to shreds, all right? That's going to be the first hero most of the time they go after. So they want to have high health, and you want to be able to utilize your special move before you die. That's why I don't recommend putting a slow mana regen person in your tank position, because sometimes your tank will die before he has a chance to use a special skill, and that's not going to be very helpful for you. Start with someone beefy. Start with someone with average mana speed if you can. That seems to be ideal. Some may disagree with me. If you disagree, write so in the comments, and then we can compare notes. I have Gore Mac. He has high health. He has 506 defense, and he's on my final ascension, so he's an ideal tank for me right now. Plus, he has a defense debuff, and he hits pretty hard. So he's my tank. And to my flanks, I have Hu Tao. Oh, hit the wrong button. Hu Tao generates slow, and I like to keep him on the flanks of the tank and not on the edge, because if you keep him on the edge, it takes them forever to regenerate mana to execute their special move. So I try to keep my slow heroes toward the center if they can survive. If they don't survive, there's no point in doing it, because they're going to die before they get their attack off anyway, if they get through the tank. So I don't like keeping slow mana people on the edge. That used to be the common advice. I happen to disagree with that. If you have a good reason, if you have a reason that you disagree and you would like to state it, please do so in the comments below. I don't mind hearing constructive feedback, and I would love to compare notes with you. Anyway, I keep him there for that reason. He gets hit enough to generate his attack before he dies, and he's strong enough to be in that position, and his special attack is arguably overpowered right now, because you miss people a lot more with the new update. Reroll, he has a skill. He's also average mana. Good position for him. He's survivable. He has high defense. He has okay hit points. He could be better. He's not leveled very high. I have a lot more work to do on him. But he has something called Perfect Riposte. How Perfect Riposte works is that skill is applied as a buff to the caster, which is Reroll, and his two flanks. So if we exit out here, his buff is going to cover Gore Mac and Bane. Why do I want it covering Gore Mac and Bane? Well, the first reason I don't have him as tank is because he would die quickly. He's not my ideal tank. I would love to have Perfect Riposte covering my middle guys. He's just not cut out for it yet, so I'm not going to put him there. I'm not going to put him on the edge because I want Perfect Riposte to cover 3 people. So if I put him on the edge, he's only going to cover 2. But I know they're going to go after Bane because he's my weakest character and he's snipeable. What does sniping mean? Sniping means that you target somebody with direct damage that's very powerful in order to kill them quickly. Bane is my most snipeable person. He's weakest in survivability, and he's a big threat because he does direct damage, and he also applies the blindness debuff, which makes you very inaccurate and makes you miss a lot. So they're going to go after him fairly quickly. So I put him on the edge, and I cover him with Perfect Riposte, because if my Perfect Riposte pops before they go after Bane, before they can kill Bane, they might not want to snipe him down. And if they do try to snipe him down with Perfect Riposte, they could die in the process, because what Perfect Riposte does, it reflects a percentage of the damage back onto the caster. It's awesome for PvP. However, you do receive the normal amount of damage that you would normally get, but it is also reflected back onto the caster depending on the percentage you have it leveled up in your special skill. Melindor, I keep a hero at all times in my lineup. I would probably put 2 in my lineup if I could, but I don't have another healer that's strong enough to do that. My next best one is Hawkmoon, and at 3 stars, she just doesn't survive at my level. Now let's take a look at Bane right here. I told you the special move Harmonic Slam. I could level him up more. They did fix the bug, by the way, of being able to maximize the special skills of your already maxed characters. So you can now level the skill up by chance, even if your hero is maxed. So that's good. I'd like to get him up to 8. The reason I haven't do it is because I anticipate replacing him at some point, because the survivability is just not there anymore. And it's getting to the point where I'm attacking top clan members, like people from the #1 alliance. I just killed one of them the other day. He's not going to stand up to him very well, so I need to get someone stronger in there at this point. He does work well for a very long time, but I'm finally reaching to the point where I am going to have to replace him in order to stay effective in my defense team. That's my defense team. That's why people steer away from raiding, because it's complex, it's strategic, it's challenging, it's stressful, and it's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. There are days where I want to pick up my phone and throw it out the window because I'm like, how in the world am I losing to this guy? Because I don't know. All right, so we went over heroes. Let's look at the troops at the bottom. Troops are very important in the defense team. Look at the stats right there. You have attack, you have defense, you have health, and you have accuracy. I'm not quite sure. Okay, that's critical chance. That was an argument before they actually specified it. That is critical chance. Some people thought that that was accuracy because it's a dot. and a target looking icon. It's critical chance. On your defense team, I'm actually surprised I don't have this a little bit differently. Sometimes it's wiser to change your troops if you have more than one 3-star or 4-star troop, because sometimes on defense team it's better for you to have a stronger defense, which is the shield icon, than it is to have the attack. In this case, I haven't changed it back to the defense. I don't know why I haven't, but I do need to change it at some point because I think I was having better luck doing that. Now, ignore battle items. You can't use battle items in raids. Understandably why. It would create a massive balancing problem, and you would be able to win based on the money you have in your bank account. So let's don't worry about battle items for raids. You can't use them. So you've edited your teams, right? If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. This is my defense team. They happen to be all the same color except for yellow. So do whatever works for you. Again, they don't have to be the same color because they are not using gems. Let's actually go to a battle and go over the battle elements. At that, I'd stop the video when you're recording and you have a child here and people come into the door. Sometimes you get interrupted. Not a whole lot I can do about it. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and exit out of there and begin raiding. So let's click the raid menu right beside the chat on the left-hand side underneath quests, and above the map, click on raids. The first screen is going to show you your defense team. You can edit that from here. I'm not going to edit that as I've already just done that. So I'm going to click Find Opponent. Okay, a little rundown and strategy for raids. Here's how it works. Your raid trophy reward and loss potential is based on the opponent's trophy count. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you see I'm getting ready to fight Bucky. In the bottom right-hand corner, it's going to show the available loot, and toward the right, it's going to show the trophy count. That is the trophy potential. That is plus 34 and minus 27. If I were to win, I'm going to get 34 trophies. If I lose, I'm going to lose 27 trophies. And that's based on the opponent's trophy count in relationship to yours. If you hit someone and attack somebody that has more trophies than you, the ratio is always going to work out in your favor if you win. Because raids are a combination of two potential fights. If you go on the offensive and raid somebody and attack them and you kill them, they have an opportunity to revenge you. And when they decide to revenge you, they get as many chances as they want to kill you. But if they come back and kill you, the same principle applies to them. So let's say I attacked Bucky and I won. I would get 34 trophies. If he comes back and revenges me and kills me on his first try, he's going to get 27 trophies. And that's it for the battle. That's it. Once we kill each other, respectively, the battle's over. And that's why trophy ratios play an important part in who you select as your target. Out of 2 battles, I'm going to get 34 trophies, and he's probably going to get around 27. Maybe a little bit more than that because I already knocked his trophy count down. But usually, if you attack someone 97% of the time and they have more trophies than you, unless they're really, really close to you, 99% of the time you are going to come out with a better ratio even if they revenge you and kill you. So rule of thumb, try not to attack people that are lower than you. If you decide to attack people that are lower than you, you can strategically plan that way. You can. One of the strategies I implement is attacking people that are significantly lower than me in hopes that they will continue trying to revenge me over and over and over again and passively give me trophies over and over and over again. Now, if they revenge you and kill you the first time, the trophies are going to benefit them and the ratio is not going to work out in your favor. So it's a risk and reward type system. The more risk you take in trying to kill people that are stronger than you and have more trophies than you, the more rewards you're going to get when you win. And I happen to believe, and I can't prove this, I think the game rewards you for trying to kill tougher opponents that have way more trophies than you by giving you better gems. I can't prove that. It could be entirely coincidental, but it seems that way. I'm not going to say anything else. Let me know what you think in the comments, or maybe I'm just imagining things and pulling things out of my butt. Excuse me. So general rule of thumb, It's nice now because after this update, they've actually put the trophy potential in the bottom right-hand corner. But that is the basis for trophy rewards. Trophy rewards also affect your ranking and your alliance ranking. So your player ranking is directly affected by your trophies, as well as your alliance ranking. Your alliance score is based on Titans, killing them, not killing them, the amount of time I believe it takes to kill Titans. It's also based on the cumulative amount of trophies your entire alliance has, and that determines your score. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into a couple of raids. I'll do as many as I can while I have time and try to process my thoughts out loud while I do it. I am going to attempt to attack this guy. But the first thing I'm going to do, I know enough about the game and the heroes to know what all of these heroes do without taking a bunch of time to do them. I know Regard and Bold Tusk on the edge are going to be difficult to deal with, but they're more difficult to deal with in the middle. I'm not quite sure why this person has them on the edge. That makes it easier for me. Doesn't mean I'm going to beat them. They'll probably make me look foolish for saying that, but I'm going to try. They have more trophies than me. They have more power than me, but they don't have much more power than me, and I can reasonably win this based on their setup. I think their biggest mistake is having Boral in the center. I think they could have far better options there. That is my opinion. Bucky may disagree, and that's okay. Bucky, if you're watching this, let me know in the comments. That would be cool. So you can re-roll if you don't like your opponent. It costs 1,500 food. I try to kill opponents if it's a reasonable risk for me. I don't like to waste a lot of food, and I like the challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and attack. Oh, by the way, make sure you have the right team selected. I commonly go into raids with the wrong team, and it's frustrating because they're not ready in certain ways. Because I use the wrong team. I use my farm team, and they're not strong enough for raids. It's a nightmare. Anyway, so the more you hit someone, the more mana they're going to build up. First thing I do when I go into a raid is I look at the amount of gems I have on the board. I don't really have too much of one gem more than the other, so I'm not going to focus on certain gems. The reason I would do that, if I had a bunch of purples on the board, I know Balthazar generates fast and he also dies quickly. So if I had a bunch of purples in the board, I would use those first, get his special skill ready, and try to get that off before he dies. That's not the case here, so I'm going to go for the best gem move on the board, which at first glance appears to be this one right here, the reds and the blues. That appears to be the best gem move. Now I have 4 purples there with a potential 5-star connection. 1, 2, 3, 4. You obviously can't see what I'm pointing at, but you'll see in a second. I want to try to get a purple there. Not going to work. The gem connection didn't work in my favor. Now I want to look at my mana bars and look at theirs. My mana bars, my purple's halfway, red's getting there. I generally find that the best strategy is to focus on getting mana bars up at the same time, or focus on getting 1 or 2 up instead of across the board, because by the time you get everyone up, you're going to be dead most of the time. So I'm not going to go after the purples right now because I don't have enough to actually get him to his max skill. I'm better off working on combinations, it looks like. Oh, that's a tough one. Actually, I am going to use the purples because I'm trying to get my reds together. It might not prove to be a good strategy, but we'll see. See, in this case, I can make a nice chain. Yeah, that worked out favorably. Good. So when I use this blue gem, it's going to bring Boral's mana bar all the way up, and I'll have Perfect Riposte available. Hopefully, yeah, ERC. He's just not strong enough. He dies with a one-shot. So, normally I would wait to use Perfect Riposte until mana bars are ready to go, but in this case I'm not going to because I want to get through this and help you guys. Yeah, and he's going to debuff me. That's okay. I'm probably not going to win this, but that's all right. So I'm going to use him, and I'm going to use him again. I'm going to use Gore Mac special attack against Perfect Riposte. Not usually a wise thing to do. I'm probably going to get close to killing him, but I want to get the tank down. That's really going to be my only shot at beating this currently because of what I just endured. Oh, I had a feeling that might kill my healer. Yeah. Sometimes Perfect Riposte is just brutal. and there's not much you can do about it. My only chance right now is to get Hu Tao's special up, and hopefully they miss. Hopefully they miss all of their attacks and I have a chance to kill him. The likelihood of that happening, very, very slim. I'm probably not going to win this. I might have more of a chance if I wasn't making a video, but I am making a video and I'm trying to get through things as quickly as possible. This one's not going to work. That's okay. You're not going to win them all, that's for sure. He was, I wasn't really anticipating beating him anyway because of his two healers, and, well, I didn't even get to the healers, but anyway, you lose sometimes. Let's go ahead and click next. I lost 27 trophies. That's what that screen told me I would do. So let's hit find opponent. Maybe we'll find someone easier, maybe not. This looks like a manageable team. You have two healers that are relatively easy to kill. Boral's in the center, although he's very high. Asler's on the edge. And I'm only going to lose 15 trophies if I don't kill this guy. It's worth it to me. And I almost think that I'm going to get a better gem setup because he's significantly more powerful than me. That's just my thought. Again, you're free to disagree, but that seems to be a recurring pattern. But who really knows for sure? See, it happens every time. I get ideal gems when the opponent is a specific strength in comparison to mine. It's funny. All right, let's see here. I'm actually going to use this because Perfect Riposte won't kill Hu Tao or Melindor, although that's a lot of gems. Good. Now I can cure Perfect Riposte because I manned up Melindor and he removes buffs from the team. And I'm going to snipe and kill Boral. Well, close to kill Boral. And let's see here. This will be a chain combo. That worked. And they're going to remove my Perfect Riposte. That's fine. The next best thing I have to do is get my yellow, red, or purple up. I'm going to see what happens if I get... I'm actually going to start with the yellow because that's going to get Hu Tao ready, and Lizu and Asler are going to be ready to hit me soon, and I might be able to block them both from hitting me because blindness is so ridiculously powerful in this game. And if I use it now, it might help my other heroes survive, like Balthazar, because his survivability is terrible, but they could also miss him. So now I have an opportunity to really, really get the upper hand. And again, gems are in my favor. See, if I would have had Perfect Riposte ready for that, that would have killed Lizu. Next thing I'm going to do is get... Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to kill Sabina before she gets another heal off. That seems the wisest, and I was able to do that. But I didn't have Perfect Riposte ready, and he missed anyway. That's why blindness is so powerful. That's just crazy overpowered. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about blindness in the comments. I'm pretty sure most of us agree that blindness is a little too powerful right now. But I'm not complaining because I have Hu Tao. I'm going to take out Asler because he's on the edge. He's a 5-star. He has about half mana, and I don't want him to hit me again because he hurts. All right, the obvious move here, I think, is to use the reds, and that'll get Gore Mac ready and inflict some damage on those two. I'm probably going to win this fight, just to let you know. I don't want to risk it. I'm going to use Perfect Riposte now. Sometimes I would wait, but I don't want to accidentally power Lizu up, the yellow chick I've targeted, and get her special off on me before Perfect Riposte is up. Because if I do that, then there's a chance that she's going to kill herself. I just don't want to risk it. Alright, if you look at my moves, they're both debuffed. I want to try to inflict as much damage on them as possible while that debuff is applied. And this will also get Hu Tao's special ready again. And she's going to kill herself. That's perfect. She dropped my mana with Hu Tao, and that's okay. I don't think it's going to matter very much because he's going to die very soon. Heal myself up. I'm actually going to use his special move while he has the debuff because that'll be more powerful. See how many attacks I have. One more Perfect Riposte. And 2 turns left on his defense debuff. Now, if this battle goes on much longer, they've introduced a timer, which when the timer starts, the offensive player actually starts getting damage increases, and it goes up based on the amount of turns that you take during that timer period. If you don't kill your opponent within that timer, the defense wins. But I now have an advantage as an attacker because my attack power is going up over turns. So the more turns I use, the attack power goes up, and that gives me a better chance to kill. The reason they did that is because there were a lot of people that were able to work the system to have someone on the edge that would make the fight last for a long time, or a bunch of healers, and they would win, and the fights would be astronomically long. And then, that doesn't make for a very fun thing. I don't know the intention behind it, but I'm sure it had to do with the fun factor of being in a raid that lasted for 15-20 minutes. Just wasn't that fun. So hopefully you saw how I beat that. I'm going to go and take one more thing here. 3 times as a charm. And I'm actually going to attack this guy, because I want to show you the danger of having potentially Gunner in the tank position, because Gunner is great early on as a tank, but you can see he only has 695 hit points. Hopefully I don't make a fool out of myself, but I want to show you why it's not a good idea to have him in the tank position. Look how much damage I took off just with one gem attack. Oh, I tend to do stuff like this and then look like a fool in the process, but let's see what happens. I'm going to do this. Yeah, he's going to get Spirit Link off. And it's just not that big of a deal anymore. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to generate mana. These guys aren't really going to kill me. Gunner is a very easy person to kill at this point, so that's not something I'm going to worry too much about. I am going to wait till Spirit Link is off, and if you have someone that can debuff, that's even better. Now Lizu is probably going to be able to hit me next turn, so he's going to reapply that, and that's alright. I think I can actually take Gunner out so he stops doing that. I'm going to try to do that with Gore Mac. I wouldn't normally do this, but I don't want him to keep applying that. I am going to wait to use... See, he's probably going to kill Balthazar before I get a chance to use his special skill because of Perfect Riposte. But this, if Lizu doesn't kill him... Ooh, he survived. Well, that would have worked, but she dropped my mana. So that didn't work. Okay, obviously I've been made out to a fool, and this one, Perfect Riposte, is actually pretty effective. A lot of times you can kill Gunner, though, as you can see I almost did, before Spirit Link comes off. And I'm going to be able to... ouch. Colin is brutal. See, this worked out in his favor. This worked out in his favor because I wasn't able to get Perfect Riposte cleared off in time, and then Colin was able to... He's going to beat me. Colin was able to get his special attack off, which is devastating. He is so good. Before I was able to get Perfect Riposte up, and that's why they killed me. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this fight because there's no way I can win. I'm going to hit Flee, and they're going to get the better trophy ratio because I attacked them. They were weaker than me. I don't believe the game was actually working in my favor at that point. Again, that's just my observation. That seems to be the pattern when you attack weaker opponents, is it doesn't seem to work well in your favor, and the AI seems smarter, but that could just be coincidental too. So I'm not going to rematch them. I'm actually going to click next, and just goes to show you that you can lose just as easily as you can win in this game. And that's what frustrates some people, but I encourage you to hang in there, keep trying, figure out what's best for your strategies. Ask people for help, people that are good in raids. People like to help. People like to give you their insight and their thoughts. They enjoy it. And, obviously if I can get to it, I'm willing to help you too. Come visit our Discord. The link is at 7ddgaming.com. You just find the Discord widget on the site. It's blue, and click connect, and that'll take you right into the lounge. And if I have time, I'll personally help you. If not, somebody else will probably help you. So there's plenty of help out there and resources. Don't get too discouraged with raids. It's hard, but it is fun. You just got to figure it out, and you got to give it time. Raiding is based a lot on trial and error, especially defense team. So seek out advice if you're not raiding because you're frustrated or intimidated or something like that, because it's really, really fun part of the game if you can figure it out. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to this tutorial. We're working on a Titan tutorial. I'm working collaboratively with people in my alliance and trying to come up with the best Titan video for tutorial purposes that we can figure out and muster up. Because I got to be honest with you, I'm not the best Titan person in our alliance, nor am I the best raider. So it's wise for me to seek out their advice and tips and help create a video in that fashion. Until then, enjoy the video, guys. Good luck in raiding, and have a great day.